That's my cue. That's the clue, folks. I'll wait for that little break. I'll wait for that little break in the song. That is Church of Eight Wheels. That's when I kind of step in and that dancing portion. This is another live stream. We're just having fun here. I know I am. I certainly hope you are. Otherwise, what are we doing? What is it? It's November 21st, 2021. It's a Monday. Folks, do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe, do all that normal stuff. But let me know if you can hear me. Let me know where you are in the world. What I'd like to do is I like to highlight, where people are from. And I like to, we're kind of illustrating the point that this is a worldwide thing. It's a worldwide phenomenon. And, we may think we're far away and we're fighting with each other all the time, but we really have so much in common. And no matter where we are, we're doing this crypto thing together. So let's take a look at the chat room. Nice to see you. Good to see you as well. Thank you. Felipe from Sydney. That's great. Cheese Hat. What's up, Alex? Good to see you again. Germany. Good and talk. What's up? New Zealand, Arizona. Right. Rochester, Minnesota, Ohio. Johnny's in California. Andy's in South Korea. New York City. I was actually just in New York City recently. That was a great little trip up to in Manhattan and Soho. Had a little bar hopping with some friends. Vail, Colorado, Minnesota, Georgia. Look at this. Ireland, right? We're all friends. We're all just hanging out. We're all into crypto. So look at that. Lisbon, Australia, Kentucky, Vancouver. Look at that, right? I could probably have Mars, Berlin, California, Los Angeles, City of Angels, people from everywhere, right? So if you just think about it, we're all kind of connected. We're all doing this thing. We're part of the same network. So folks, thank you so much. Just, thanks for tuning in. It's an emergency live stream tonight. Talk about a couple tweets, but we should look at Bitcoin and try to get a sense of what's going on. I am Big Cheds, of course. You find me on Twitter at Big Cheds. I'm the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. That's on that's on Amazon right now. And you can get that right now for free. You can get it on my YouTube channel at Cheds Trading. Check out the playlist, Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. But one thing I want to point out is my next book, Trading Quotes, is going to be coming out within the next couple weeks. I'm getting really, really close on it. A super fun project. Is something I'm really excited to kind of bring to you. So it's essentially one quote for every day in the year. And what I do is I do like a quarterly review as well. So just want to let you know that's coming up pretty quickly on my YouTube channel as well. You'll want to check out the Twitter Spaces playlist. I just did another Twitter Spaces today. We had a great conversation with probably 30, 40 people asking questions. That will be uploaded later. I haven't done that yet, but so far we have 21 videos coming so far. One more thing here. Give me just 1 second. I have something popping up. We have 21 videos. These are great conversations. If you're kind of, if you're just getting started, if you are, you're a new trader and you're a new trader and you're just getting started, that's like a great resource for you because you can just listen to, here we have, hours of people asking questions, me giving my best answers. I often have great guest hosts as well. So, check out that playlist, check out the masterclass technical analysis tutorials. This will give you all the basics for how to trade. And of course, I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. For over 4 years, I've been providing regular market updates. I think we have the best team in the world that studies crypto. And, what's great when you sign up, you can see what we've been talking about for the last few years and then compare it to what happened. So that's a really strong track record. I love the team. I do a twice-a-week market update. So if you have any interest in that, reach out to me. Any questions about that, just let me know. What is the emergency? I mean, so that's who said that? What is the emergency? Thank you. Appreciate that, Carl. Someone says, what is the emergency? Thanks to the live stream. Thank you, Kenny. All right. What is the emergency? We just traded at the lowest price in 2 years. Okay. I mean, is that not an emergency? We just traded at the lowest price since November of 2020. And that was today right around 15.4. I put out a tweet today, and it just feels weird to see Bitcoin with that 15 handle, right? Or even a 16 handle, because we were in that here, daily chart. We were in that like 140-day range, 150-day range, right? In that kind of 20 to 22K range, 20 to 22K area. And it's just weird for me to see it, 15, 16K. So I will have a series of tweets lined up. One more. Let me just, sorry to bounce around. Check out the long form interview series. This is really good. I'll probably do another one soon, but I have a really nice selection of conversations with really strong traders. So check that out as well on my YouTube channel. So the first tweet, I have like 5 or 6 tweets, and then I'll take some questions. And keep in mind, I don't have like a chat room mods, right? I don't have like a team. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy who likes doing this, and I enjoy teaching. It helps me to get better at my trading, and I've just been doing this a long time, so I have fun with it. So like, I'm not going to pay attention to the chat room as much, really, maybe towards the end of the stream. So if I miss a question or I miss a comment, I apologize. So yeah, let's talk about. Let me remove this, and I'll talk about it real quick. So sentiment's really important, because people tend to get really excited at the top, right? And they get really, they're in despair near the bottom of the channel. And it makes sense, because in order to be really bullish, how does it get really bullish? How do people get really excited? It's bullish for a while, and then things get built up. So you can see how sentiment can help you, right? At tops and bottoms. If you've watched my prior updates here on YouTube, thank you. And of course on Twitter, the spaces, and just talking to me or whatever, engaging. I've been saying for a long time that sentiment hasn't bottomed yet. And every major bottom that I've seen, and I've been trading crypto for 5 years, every major bottom I've seen in crypto has been marked by a sentiment bottom. So we've been tracking sentiment. We've been tracking sentiment. I've been talking about it and saying there's no sentiment bottom, but we've started to get a sentiment bottom. We've started to see the building blocks. So let's see, November 9th. And then here, November 7th was kind of my first data point, right? So let's copy that. Copy the link. Let's take a look. All right, we're up here. We're starting to see fear building. This is before we broke down. And we were in this long range. We kind of thought about it as kind of attempted double bottoming. We had discussed kind of observing the price interaction with range lows, and then also essentially defining a breakout or momentum flipping level in 22.5K, the higher low that we lost, and then where we rejected, the high water mark of that relief rally in early September. And so that was kind of the construct, that was the texture, if you will, of this consolidation range, the 148-day range, kind of all under the MA200, on the weekly chart, below the MA20, all below the MA200, a weak consolidation, but with the ability to rally, with the ability to turn around. And so that's the kind of on the backstop. But we started to fear, we started to get this kind of news barrage. And I wonder if this is when the SBF deal started. And if you know me, I'm not really a fundamentals guy. I feel like, you can read the news all you want, and you can think that you know exactly what's going to happen. But at the bottom line is, you still have to exercise your risk based on a certain chart level. You still have to enter with an idea, and then I know when that idea will fail, so you can define your risk. So fear started to build, and people were more apathetic and kind of just didn't care in here for a while, because it's boring, it's sideways. Everyone was like, it's like boring, but there's no fear. And we got a little bounce, and we started to get fear, and you could really start to tell fear is building, right? That's the first step. And so if you know me, I am always studying sentiment. I talk about it a lot. I tweet about it. One of the tops, trying to remember, I think it was the April top. I marked the April top maybe by the day. Maybe I was off by a day back here, where I tweeted out 3 words: too much enthusiasm. Right. So you can just tell, right? Sentiment's powerful. It's been a powerful tool. I'd encourage you to try to use that, in your system. But anyway, fear starting to build. All right. Fear building. And then, all right, here we go. Now we're starting to see the early building blocks. Now we're getting the building blocks. We're starting to break down now. Price is at the bottom of the range. This is during this candle. We're probably just started to break down or about to. We're at about 18K. And we're starting to see the early building blocks of a sentiment bottom. I'm not saying sentiment is bottom, but we're starting to see it bottoming or starting to bottom because we're getting the people giving up. Crypto's a scam. Crypto's going to zero. That type of thing. Oh, of course I've been wrong many times. Of course. I mean, but if you're not trying, you'll never be right or wrong. But I would say you could look at any video on YouTube and compare it to especially Bitcoin, and then go look at what happened afterwards. I mean, I'll put my record up against anyone on YouTube, and you can hold me to that challenge. So I'm actually quite proud with the body of work, even here on YouTube, which is public, not to mention Bitcoin Live, which is, dead on. But check out my YouTube stuff, and I would challenge you to check that out, my friend. But listen, you're always going to get stuff wrong. Nobody gets it right. It's about, do you hold on to wrong ideas, right? Like this is a misnomer where if you're a trader, you have to win, 80% of your trades. It's not true. The idea is to maximize your winners, right? It's risk management. It's defining your risk. So a losing trade, don't hold on to it. Just say, okay, I lost, and move on. So when you say you've been wrong many times, yes, because I try a lot, I trade a lot. So actually, I think that's the right approach to have, is that you're gonna be wrong, a lot of times. So, yeah, I'm just engaging in conversation. I don't mind. You can take a shot at me, but my body of work is strong, so I have nothing to run from. I don't need to delete tweets. I don't delete bad chart calls. I actually embrace them. But anyway, let's get back on track. I'm here to kind of share my analysis, my honest analysis with you. So we're talking about sentiment and how, we're starting to see the early building blocks of sentiment. So you need that for a bottom, right? And then here we go. And then this is the tweet a couple days later, November 16th. Looks to be about a week later. So we kind of see here, I'm on Twitter. I will put out a lot of stuff, and you have to sift through it, and that's kind of up to you. But I tend to also follow certain stories and certain threads, and here I'm kind of illustrating the building blocks and the development of a sentiment bottom. And if you look at sentiment now, it's definitely worse than it was a week ago, and it's definitely bad. Sentiment is bad, and it's the kind of sentiment setup that you need to start to look for a price bottom. So now that I believe, and this is just my own analysis, I'm just telling you how I trade. I'm just telling you what I do. Appreciate that, Ammon. I'm just telling you what I do. Now that I'm seeing sentiment bottoming, I'm more comfortable myself starting to look for a price bottom, right? And that could come in a couple forms. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll kind of talk. We'll get before I move to the next tweet, which is about the tight range. Before I do that, though, I mean, so again, I would go long. If you think about momentum, right? So you need a move to fade, right? So for example, if I want to short something, ideally it's a downtrend that just bounced, and maybe it's bouncing up and tagging a moving average. So it's a bounce in a downtrend. I'd like to short it, right? Or it's an uptrend that just dipped, and it's maybe to the prior high. It's hitting support. That's a good entry, right? You're buying a dip in an uptrend, a movement against the trend, right? And when you're in a situation where we clearly are in a downtrend on the daily chart, simple metrics based on kind of the falling MA200, and given that the price is trading below a falling 200, that's by definition just a downtrend in classical charting, same as on the weekly chart. In that situation, you need some type of to go long in this situation, you need a momentum reversal, right? So now that we've dropped below support, and you can see where the price attempted to bounce on the initial mean reversion, right? On this initial drop, overreaction drop, deep drop below the lower Bollinger Band, and that's unusual to stay below a lower Bollinger on a daily for that long, right? Even if you bounce back into the band and you ride it down, or you kind of mean revert to the 8 or some other, lower 5 simple or 8 EMA, whatever, and then you kind of ride down. But this is an overreaction dip, and then you get the mean reversion started, the relief rally, and it's going to be better illustrated on a lower time frame than this daily chart. You can see it probably on the 4-hour better. But where did the move stall? Right at around 18.15, 18.2, which is the bottom of the lows here in late September and the bottom of the lows here in mid-October. Paintball, thank you, man. I'll take a look at Gala for you afterwards. Thank you. I'll make sure I do that. And folks, if I forget, make sure to remind me, but I will do that. By the way, yeah, Chart Guys. I'm a huge fan of Dan from Chart Guys. He's one of the featured channels, I guess. If you look at my YouTube, it shows that he's one of the channels that I have linked. I like Dan. He does a great job. So you can see, to make my point, we're in a downtrend. So now we've identified this level, right? What was the point of what I was just doing? So now we have a level that we can use to go long, right? We can now look at this as a deviation, a move below, flushing out, triggering stop losses, and now we flipped this level. So I would go long back up above like 18.2, right? That's one plan, right? And then why? Because now I can define my risk. We get to 18.2, I'm in. And I'll probably stop myself out around like 17.9, right? I'll give myself a few $100s, thinking I can at least make a 3-to-1 on that, $1,000 from 18.2 to 19.2 minimally, probably more. But that's one way to do it, right? Where you're kind of doing that, using that momentum reversal where it's support, breaks through and comes back up, right? You can buy there. All right. So that's one way to do it. But otherwise, I'm still waiting to see what the price does. I'm down in a level that I've just been waiting for many months. And if you've seen my Twitter and you've seen my YouTube videos, really since about March, April, I've been talking about the 12K range because we just saw the structure breaking down on the weekly chart. We don't have to go through how the top was spotted. Go watch my videos. But the moving averages were rolling over and we had pretty big bear momentum here. And really, you started to look at it here, by May, certainly, as you were losing this higher low. But you looked at this bottom of the range 30K, and you looked at the rate of price acceleration to 20 to 30K. 20 to 30K, it never stopped and paused on the way. So it's likely to slow bleed down. We talk about the rocket ship up, the slow bleed down, as opposed to the pause, consolidate, pause, consolidate. When it comes back up, it has support to bounce off of. It has support. It will bounce off of the prior areas. So when you're looking at the price back then, you were saying, okay, we got a big pocket, basically, 20K to 30K. We lose 30K, we're going to 20K. But what I said back then is that it's unlikely to hold at 20K because there's not a lot of price history here. I think you'll minimally test 20K, but probably break below it. And kind of a scenario I've been talking about now for like 6-7 months, which it's crazy that it might actually become true because it's 6-7 months, and from up here. But the reason why and my thinking was that we've got a good base of support here. You see, we're over multi-year. From February of 18 and then here in middle of 19. And then like a year later, it rejected, right? Breaking above that base, that really should be support, right? That really should be support. Look, sell and may go away. That's like a euphemism for equities, but what are you going to do the rest of the year? Go fishing? It's a pretty good idea, but look, you're still, just trade a chart, trade whatever chart is in front of you. If there's a trade, take it. If there's no trade, don't take it. But like, there's awesome action, all year round in crypto for the most part. Even in equities, there's money rotations. There's different markets. You can play Forex. You do a million things. Anyway, back here, we were seeing the break and the likely test of 20K. And for my thinking, we were unlikely to hold here at 20K. I thought we would come down, panic, freak everyone out, and then bounce from there. So I'm really looking here at 12K. I know there's other folks who've been talking about like a 14K support or 14.5. I don't see that. I feel like that's more of a meme level. These are minor wicks. These are just intraday minor data points when you have clusters of price action. That's where support is. Okay. 12K and even just below 12K. In my opinion, there's really no support until 12K. That's why I've been cautious all along. And I've kind of, that's been my big picture view. And it's actually kind of crazy that we are almost there, right? Great to see 356 of you watching. Once again, quick reset. I do want to say thank you. I'm Big Cheds on Twitter. I'm the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. You can get it on Amazon. Check out the free version of my YouTube. Make sure you check that out, folks. All right. So what I want to do, let me move on, and I'll get that request at the end. So that's what I would do, right? I would go long above 18.2, as I've talked about, or I'm going to wait and see the price interaction with the 12K area. I'm not just going to blindly buy there. I'd like to wait and let the price do something for me. Even like a lower time frame, like a 4-hour, come in 4-hour, like a Head and Shoulders or whatever. And I could on the break, I could go long on the on the neckline break, or even take a short if on a right shoulder failure, right? I'll just wait. I'm going to wait for the price to create some structure for me, right? But 12K, that's an area of interest, definitely. I'm not touching it between now and then on the way down. Unless we get some type of a sharp V bottom here with some volatility, and that's the third kind of unknown, which it's hard to plan for, but above 18.2 and then down around 12, I would get interested. So this is interesting. So yeah, it's a little bit kind of geeky, but NR, like what's NR? NR means narrow range. So like NR8 means like the current candle is the most narrow, the tightest range of the last 8 candles. And that usually will like presage volatility. It's like a hint that volatility is coming. And there it was. I mean, there's the day before we started to break down. And here we are. By my math, it was the tightest range in 28 days. That's kind of ridiculous. And these were tight ranges as well. The 2 days before it, we had 3 doji in a row. I think that's my next tweet. 3 doji in a row, which is unusual as well. Last time was early January, right? So we just had 3 doji, basically same open and close. Arguably, this is a spinning top, but it's close enough to be a doji. 3 doji in a row, and that's after. It's after violent price movement, right? That is after violent price movement, and then boom, and it's like, okay, we're about to hit volatility. So that's like, those are clues, those are signs, but doesn't always tell you where it's going to go. It doesn't tell you where it's going to go. It tells you that it suggests something's about to happen. So there's all these little clues using candlestick thesis, candlestick knowledge. Just checking in the chat, seeing how everybody's doing. I don't. You can't time each trade perfectly. But what you can do is recognize the trend, right? How do I recognize the trend? What's the MA200 doing? What's the price doing in relation to support, right? So you can say, for example, in this chart, here's support. We lost support. We're consolidating after breaking down below the MA200. So your first step is recognizing what trend is. And then you look for an opportunity, and the opportunity is the price interacting with a clearly defined level. Here, that would be 18.2. That's reasonable. Even down 12K, that's reasonable. So there's no such thing as timing a trade perfectly. It's not about timing a trade perfectly. It's about, Darsh, it's about managing your risk. But you're curious about my technique, go to this playlist. Masterclass technical analysis tutorials. I really think you should watch these before even risking $1. That's me to everybody listening. These will really help you get a firm grasp on trend analysis. Just a couple more things, checking in with the chat room. What's going on? Just scalping. That's the way to do it. I answered that question. Bufo, sell and may go away. Let me just see. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Awesome. Hey, Tyler, thank you. Please leave a review. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the book, okay? Paintball. So, all right, let's just do this one real quick before I move on. Gala chart. We'll just look at the Gala chart here real quick. So, look at the Gala chart and tell me what you think Gala could do during. That's tough. The next bull run is a price target. That's really that's right, like I don't like this type of thinking, because we haven't even bottomed yet. Like you shouldn't be looking for a target. And thank you for the question. Paintball for life. You shouldn't be looking for a target on the upside. You should be looking for maybe where it might bottom somewhere. I mean, look at this. Gala on Binance. Do we have more history anywhere else? This is just a straight downtrend. I mean, this may never make a new high during the next bull run. I mean, the next bull run, maybe it only gets back up to 5 cents. Like, you have no idea where this bottoms. It's just a terrible chart. It's not a chart you should be holding. This is a chart you should have sold a long time ago and really should not be holding at this stage. This is on the slow bleed to zero type of chart. I will say if it gets back up above, 4 or 5 cents, you've got some room for optimism. So, you can just get out of it now. And if it gets back up above 5 cents, that would suggest that the trend is turning around, right? Rather than just holding something down to zero. It is a terrible, terrible chart. Let me see if there's an more price history. I don't think there is, though. Binance, and in the chat, if you think there might be one with like more price history, let me just see here. I don't think Coinbase, maybe Bitfinex. I really Bittrex, that's older. We'll try Qcoin. Just, okay, you got a little more history here. All right, so Qcoin. Okay. See, so that's the thing. And this is Bitcoin Live members, when they ask for a request, I say to them, listen, I'll cover anything as long as it has price history. All right. So now we're heading back towards all-time lows around like a penny and a half, 2 cents. Yeah, I mean, this is in dire straits. Like I said, its chart is in tough shape. It very well may be the next case that the next bull run, this thing doesn't get over 5 cents or 10 cents, right? This is not a situation, and I know I'm not giving you the answer you want. I mean, I know that. This is not a situation where, next bull run it's going to go to like $2-3. I mean, there's no reason to assume that. It's just a downtrend. There's no guarantee this ever turns around. Because you don't have a lot of history. It's a terrible chart. I would get out of it. I would get out of it. I would probably delete it from my watch list, if I can just be honest with you. Let me get back to these tweets and then I'll check in with the chat room. So 3 doji, and here we are. So we didn't complete this, but we came close to completing it. All right. What is this? So there's a little confusion on this because this is not to be. So 3 inside bars, 3x, like not to be confused with like a 3 inside up or 3 inside down. It's a different pattern where you have like a move up, and then there's a big candle, and then maybe you get like a harami or spinning top small body, and then whatever, boom, that's 3 inside down. This is just 3 inside bars, mother bar, inside bar 1, inside bar 2, maybe it's up here, inside bar 3. You have 3 bars that are inside the prior bars. It's reflective of range compression, volatility compression, which is suggestive of impending volatility, and range expansion. And so here, let's see, daily Bitcoin closed in the 3rd inside bar in the 3-day chart. All right, getting a little spicy. And it did break down. So this one broke down this was like a couple hours to close, and it broke down. But at the time, this candle was still inside this candle. So you had mother bar, inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. So really it was just a 2x or a 2x inside down, right? Instead of a 3x, instead of 3x inside bars, you got 2. But more or less, this picture, you say, what is it? It's basically a bear. It's a pennant, a bear pennant. Strong move down. Symmetrical triangle, tightening range, after move down, likely bear continuation. Again, none of these are guaranteed. None of these are guaranteed. Continuation. It's just what is the most likely bear pennant. Now we're starting to break down from that, and now this is where it gets a little interesting. There's a point I made in Bitcoin Live last night, and I was talking about be patient. Daily bear pennant on Bitcoin, likely to morph into a descending triangle rather than break down quickly. The market will never move as fast as you want to. We've seen this all the time. Right? Where, we make a big move down and we think we're going to do just a simple consolidation and continuation. But instead, we got 140 days sideways last time, right? I don't know how long it's going to take to get to wherever it's going. But, for me, in my opinion, at a minimum, the pennant, right, is going to morph into a descending triangle, right? And there it is. And I said starting, right? So it's, and what that is you essentially now have two tests here of the bottom of the range. We just dropped here briefly. Let's clean it up a little bit. So we now have a reasonably well-defined support range, okay? And we have a descending supply trend. And again, it's not about like where you draw the line, right? Because the whole thing with the trend line is it's not about the line, it's about the trend. This line illustrates a trend, but it doesn't matter exactly where you put the line, right? So we have a descending triangle forming. And what this does is this gives you a way to go long. I mean, if this could also break long here, maybe you'd go long here above, 16.7, and now your thesis is, invalidation of a descending triangle. But you'd have to be careful, and that would be tricky because, now you might have the descending triangle morphing into now just a bare rectangle, and now we're just sideways range, upper channel, lower channel, right? So the point is, be patient. These consolidation ranges will often morph one pattern right into another. Let's check in with the chat room. I'm probably going to wrap it up here pretty quick. No, that none of this matters. Those are words. Partnership, what they're doing as a company, that's irrelevant. Those are words. What matters is what the market is telling you. The market is telling you this sucks. The market says this sucks. The market knows all the stuff that you're talking about, and the market has decided that this is what it's supposed to be priced. This is what it's supposed to be worth. Look at this guy says inflation. So whatever, these are things they're saying to you about partnerships so they can continue to sell tokens. That's how all these things work. You have to be way more cynical. Don't take any of these people's words at face value. Let the market sort it out. The market paintball, the market knows all the stuff you're talking about. And it's basically said, this sucks, avoid it. So you got to listen to the market, my friend. I'm being brutally honest with you. I'm talking to you as if you'd want me to talk to you if I was your friend, and I cared and I was looking out for you. So, all right, let's Solana. A couple of people asked Solana. All right, Arian, sure, why not? Yeah, why not? I think it's pretty much cooked, but what do we think about Sol? What do we think about Sol? I mean, it's a garbage chart. What are you going to do with it? If we bounce to like 15, I'd love to short it. I'd love to. I would look to short it right up here if we get a bounce to 15. Otherwise, we're basically breaking support. I think next support is around like $4 right down here in this range. So boom, 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 right? This has got a ways to go. It may not go straight. It may come in, bounce, reject, come in, bounce, reject, and then breakdown. Could do anything, but it's not a chart you should be looking to long. It looks for now like you want to avoid it, but then you could look at it around $3 or $4. That might set up for a nice trade. You might get a nice risk, reward from that level. All right, folks, I want to say thank you. I am Big Cheds on Twitter. I'd like you to know that I have a brand new book coming out in less than 2 weeks, Trading Quotes, a daily dose of trading wisdom. I have it right here. I am editing it. Like I said, one quote each day, and then I do like a review. I'm doing like a last minute check on it. And I'll have it out for you real soon. So I just want to be done so I can move on too. It's been, I thought I would have been done with this 6 months ago, but I decided to keep working on it. I want to get it better. I want to make it better. My second book though is Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. You can find that on Amazon right now. 4 formats. The audiobook is narrated by me. I'll do an audiobook for Trading Quotes as well. But on YouTube, you got to go to YouTube. You need to watch this masterclass technical analysis playlist. It's a great place to start if you're learning how to trade. Check out the free version of my book, Trading Wisdom playlist. Check out my quick market updates. This emergency live stream will go into that playlist. It qualifies as an emergency because we just had the lowest price in 2 years. A lot of stuff going on. And Twitter Spaces. I have 21 conversations. I have one more I need to upload, so there'll be 22. These are awesome. If you're a new trader, check those out. Just as a gentle reminder, I am a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. Bitcoin Live is the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. When you sign up, you get access to the content from all the contributors. I personally do a twice-a-week full market update, Wednesday and Sunday night. I haven't missed one in over 3 years. And what's great is when you sign up, you can watch like 500 videos from me. And you can just keep learning, right? So if you really want to learn, it's a great thing to do. And you go back and see how have we done, right? Go back and see it. What did they say and what happened? I really encourage you to do that. So that's what I have to say about that. So folks, thank you so much. I enjoy doing these. I love how I can just hit a few buttons and I can go live and get you folks just hanging out with me. And you're literally all around the world, literally all around the world, which is so much fun. So I don't think there are any Black Friday deals. Tectonic, I actually don't have anything to do with pricing or membership. I create content, right? I'm an analyst. So, but I don't think so. They haven't told me anything. I honestly think it's really underpriced as is. I mean, just look at what you get and who the analysts are. It's ridiculous. So I think it's a great deal, but I'm biased. Every parent thinks their kid is, the smartest, best looking kid in the world. Anyway, folks, thank you so much. I'm going to finish it off with some dancing, but don't rush in. I don't think you need to rush into a bottom. You're not going to miss the bottom. Because if it's going to go to whatever number, it has to get back over like 18.2 or 20K even. You can pick some number that you'll get back in, and by then there'll be enough bull momentum that it's probably turning around. So I don't think there's any need to rush in. I don't think there's any need to rush in right now. So Darsh says, let's dance. Yeah, all right. I can do that. Let's do it.